this part yet. Jesus Christ. Jamie Foxx is fine and LeBron makes me squeal. Take me to a Tyler Perry movie. It's a done deal.
My parents are white, and I've always kind of just stuck by that story. Until lately, I don't know what I am anymore. So everyone from day one, like when you look at me as like a little girl, like obviously my hair is cropped right now, but I have really, really coarse textured hair that a lot of Caucasians don't have.
Fill the room with the juice. That's a lot of loot. That bit fire. Yeah, she kinda cute.
Welcome back. Part 2. No intro. Ain't no way I'm waiting. Ain't no way.
She used her sex work as a means to emotionally hurt her partners when they offended her.
And she pulls out her phone and shows me sucking some guy's cock.
Trisha?
Yeah, a picture of it. What?
Why'd you do that? You left a party the other day because a girl sat on his lap. And you show him a picture of you sucking another dude's dick?
Talk about is having sex with people, including my dad. Which is really weird.
I didn't say that.
Guys, in the comments, make sure you tell Trisha to stop talking about sexualizing my 7-year-old father.
What? I'm not my friend.
Trisha, look how big his trunk is. That's not just a friend. And she wants to be part of the vlog squad? Go fuck yourself. I thought you were exclusive with Jason.
I am. I've lived with my friend for so long. How are you?
Ooh.
Take that, David. I don't care if she fucks around.
How do you feel about that?
She's got pretty good taste. I mean, I don't know.
She's your girlfriend. You're supposed to say you're not.
If I pulled up with some girl just now, you would have flipped the fuck out. Who was that?
He said you were singing. He was like, whenever Jason's in a good mood, he's singing. I'm like, oh, you were in a good mood tonight after a fight?
I'm sure you can find a lot of things you can say about anything that I put out there and twist it in a way that's destructive.
This is why you are such a dangerous person, especially to be close with, because you'll take something that I've told you, you'll take something that somebody told you in confidence, and you'll use it, you'll weaponize it against them.
That's not. Ethan has also commented how odd it is that his brother-in-law's fiance sent him vagina photos. But to further compound on this, it's equally, if not even more odd, for her to have pleasured herself to her fiance's little sister and husband, out of spite for the several clashes they've had throughout the show. Furthermore, Moses admitted to Trisha not allowing him to speak to other women, not to like any other women's posts, and Jason followed the same rules.
Down if they wouldn't let you hang out with the opposite sex. Put a finger down if they wouldn't let you like certain people's photos. Put a finger down if they got mad if you didn't respond in 5 minutes. Put a finger down if they ever got physical or threw something at you. Put a finger down if you got to keep your location services on. Put a finger down if they threatened to kill
No wonder you
themselves
deleted
if you tried
it.
to break up
No
with
wonder
them.
you deleted it. No wonder. Because
I over
your patterns
150 if you attempted suicide. It's
destructive.
not because I'm crazy as I try to kill myself.
So then when you started making videos and stuff about Jason, I only heard Jason's side of the story where he tried to avoid any contact with you.
Put a finger down if they've called you names. Put a finger down if they called you overly sensitive, but really they were just being mean. And lastly,
when
You
Trisha
look
found
dumb.
Jason's daughter's shirt in his house, Trisha accused Jason of having an affair and lashed out against him.
I think you have to be a lot less insecure about whether or not Jason is hooking up with other people. Like, Jason, what did she just do today?
No,
She found
seriously.
my daughter's shirt and was like, who was here last night?
So it looks like a skinny girl, and that would not fit me.
Both men are highly uncomfortable around the idea of other women, and when others brought it up in jest, both men became highly unsettled.
But of all the Kardashians, I'd probably pick her.
You pick Chloe?
Yeah, to be friends with, not to be romantic with.
Who would you be romantic with the
Kim.
Kardashians? You were supposed to say nobody.
Really?
Compared to you.
Kim Kardashian's very pretty.
You're not allowed to talk about women.
Oh, okay.
It's also of note, as any person who suffered from abuse, the little details. Trisha looks down on these men violently and has expressed pride in controlling them just through her stare alone. This was particularly evident when Moses denied breaking up with Trisha over her physical abuse, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary.
That he broke up with you because you started, like, punching him.
He's shaking his head no.
Oh, okay. You said I could say everything.
I did not punch him. You said that's why you broke up with me, because I punched you? I went like this.
Okay.
This was also repeatedly evident
Girl.
in Jason Nash. Additionally, everyone is
Not the bruise.
bruise.
Look at that bruise, you guys.
breaking into their phones, revealing their messages to the public, broadcasting their issues to the public, and inciting a hate mob against them whenever they don't adapt to her commands is textbook emotional and psychological abuse. She also exposed private details about Ethan's previous substance addiction during his more depressed years because he called her crazy in jest.
When you're just not open about it.
That's my mom.
I don't
right
think
there.
that is a defining characteristic of who I am.
I think that is a big thing. That makes sense. Why? Because you're on medication now and there's no shame or judgment in it. But like, hey, if you're going to shame me for being off meds, you should say, hey, I'm on meds.
I'm not shaming you for being off meds.
No, exactly.
That's what it sounds like. You just call me crazy,
But here's
which
what you
means
do.
I'm off
You know what you just did?
medication.
You're trying to see. This is why you are such a dangerous person.
From what fans have seen, Moses treats Trisha like a princess, encouraging her to eat.
Why is she off her meds?
Gifts, including a fridge.
Girl!
Made several comments critiquing Trisha's weight.
How many years you gotta go through it to realize you need it? Because I've been there. How many years?
Insulted Jason for his physical appearance in several ways.
Look how skinny you look, though. Look at your arm. Your arm is so skinny.
That's because I've been trying to work out.
No, Jason is showing pictures of him skinny, and I'm like, he looks a lot older. I think he looks way older when you're skinnier. It's not like you're fat. You're very, like, normal. But when you were skinny, you looked like you were dying.
Girl.
Kind of. And for what it's worth, I'm like, and I know you're doing it for you, but I really don't like abs. I really don't like them. I think they feel really bad when you're having
I really don't like abs. I really don't like them.
Neither negates the other, but depicting Trisha as a victim is a tactic often employed by abusers to cover up their tracks. Lastly, Trisha also seems to wreck through family lives without care for the impact. While dating Jason, the mother of Jason's children refused to let her kids around Trisha for obvious reasons. Trisha publicly insulted his ex-wife, a private figure, wedging tension between the co-parents, expecting people to attack the mother over a private boundary within a family. These are her children. Trisha at best is a stranger and a dangerous person to expose children around, particularly when she crashed her car into Jason's house where her children live. As alluded before, the Kleins have repeatedly tried keeping the peace with Trisha for the sake of Moses, Ela Klein's brother. But Trisha, despite their attempts at defusing the situation, escalates the situation, once again directing her attack at another woman, Ela Klein, unprompted, claiming Ela Klein's brother dislikes her and wants nothing to do with her.
And Moses doesn't like you, and you guys don't like him, and that's cool. I'm happy to
That's stupid.
But it's true. It's so
well,
true.
that's fucked up. That's the kind of shit you say that makes Ela mad because you go, Moses doesn't like you. And so what you're doing is you're causing problems in the family.
Yeah. And why?
You told
and
Trisha this.
she doesn't want any more of that.
Excuses. It's like, who the fuck are you, bitch?
Say what? What did she say?
She said, I read it. I saw it because I was on fucking TikTok.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't read his private fucking messages
When
to
I'm on
his sister.
TikTok and there's a message that comes up and I see it, I'm not reading it. I see it.
Yeah,
and
no,
I see
you're
my
reading
name
his private
being brought up.
messages with his sister. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Once again, this abuse against both women.
Dang,
She
yo,
said
like,
will remain unnamed for the sake
you
of
have
privacy,
to work on
and
yourself.
Ela Klein were
You
unprompted,
can't even be in a
unwanted,
relationship
and only
this
happened because they established a boundary
mentally,
which Trisha
like,
refused to respect.
I'm telling you,
On
I've
a
been there.
side
I know.
note,
Like,
she also recently humiliated Gabby Hanna on her own podcast, who has her own set of issues not relevant to this video, after denying a 2-year-long friendship and treating her with a false air of superiority. Only severed ties with Shane Dawson after he spread a rumor about her STD status, despite overwhelming evidence of him having pedophilic tendencies, a racist past, and a toxic friendship with Jeffree Star, which included blackmailing and manipulating other creators for their own financial benefits, and only revealed David Dobrik's checkered past over a personal vendetta against him and the Vlog Squad, instead of for the honorable reason of trying to protect the victims. She, a grown woman, has attacked teenage TikTokers, the D'Amelio sisters, ironically, as we'll soon see, over a racist TikTok dance, and for having an attitude problem when she, a grown woman, also abandoned a group of very young girls at a party to be assaulted by her friends at the time, instead of intervening as an adult should. To make matters worse,
that's
after
so
Ethan refused to continue the
true.
podcast, Trisha made attempts to reconnect with the Vlog Squad despite her onslaught against them over setting up and filming the assault of a young woman and their repeated involvement with predators.
I truly
And
miss
make no
David's
mistake,
vlogs.
Trisha Paytas intelligently characterizes herself as an apologetic, ever-developing victim to her audience because she uses them to attack others over matters which should remain private or reported to the police.
Yeah.
Not once did she expose a creator for honorable reasons. She's inherently an abusive person who's tricked her audience into believing she's a mentally ill victim to continue abusing those around her.
Literally.
TRISHA Paytas wrote a song called Jungle Fever. The lyrics are very ignorant and stupid, so if you wish to skip over, please do.
I want to skip the entire thing. Let me tell you, I do, but I'm not.
I may be white, but I got needs too. And I gotta do what I feel like doing, so I'ma get out of the valley, go down to Inglewood, and get me some. Jesus Christ. People stop and stare. They look at my body right past my face. People stop and stare a little more. Looks like I'm out of place, an interracial whore. Okay. I can't help myself when I see a man in fat form jeans repping his team. Give me some cornrows with dreads down to there. What's inside your pants really isn't fair. Bro, stop. Cause I got jungle fever. It's driving me insane. I've got jungle fever and I can't complain. When you, oh my god, okay, when you have jungle fever, you get Jesus Christ. You get satisfied. So get some jungle fever and melt them inside. Oh, I didn't even read this part yet. Jesus Christ. Jamie Foxx is fine and LeBron makes me squeal. Take me to a Tyler Perry movie. It's a done deal. God, Jesus Christ.
Where have I been?
Home in bed. See the top of my head. The man at AirTrack said me thick, keep your fat baby got back. Bro. I've got jungle fever. It's driving me insane. I've got jungle fever and I can't complain.
I thought it was incest.
You have jungle fever, you get satisfied. So get some jungle fever and melt them inside. Cause I got jungle fever, it's driving me blah 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 blah. Basically repeats over and over again. So that was an abomination. But to break it down, not only does the name have racist implications coming from a white woman, but her fetishization and capitalization off of black men reveals how she sees black men as sex objects.
Yes.
Never once has she publicly dated a black man or had a romantic connection
with
a black man. In fact, Moses possesses the darkest complexion among TRISHA Paytas' partners, with the rest being overwhelmingly blonde and blue-eyed.
There you go.
Yes, her mention of Inglewood is her attempt to feel some sort of street cred,
right,
which every basic white girl tries to possess now that it's trendy. But the closest they come to black impoverished neighborhoods are the gentrified cities built upon their remains. She's also said the N-word several times and says it's racist for her to not be able to use it, which is an excuse many entitled white people make when boundaries are established between them and a culture they've oppressed.
I have to stop because I'm white. Like, I can't sing songs because I'm white. That feels racist to me. Like, you're not white, so you can't sing that song. Okay.
How has TRISHA oppressed black people? There's a reason why she lives in a mansion in L.A., yet only references poor black people in Inglewood when she wants to make money off them and treat them like sex objects. Furthermore, she sang NWA's F the Police while repeatedly mouthing and singing the N-word.
You niggas want some neck cake. If you eat. Straight from the underground. A young nigga got it back.
While also expressing surprise at the fact that police brutality still exists and addressing Black Lives Matter from her perspective as a white woman, proclaiming how she feels rather than providing anything of substance to the movement.
This is like, it feels like we're back in the 60s. It feels like it's like we reverted to this, like, decades and decades of people dying and for this, and it's crazy to me. And while another reason I want to make this is, like, a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm very white privileged, and I can't relate, and I can't relate to being black and being profiled based on my race. I can't relate to that, and I'm not going to pretend like I do. What I can relate to is being a human being with a family, and watching the video of Orlando Castile, I think is how you say his name, his girlfriend recording his daughter in the back, just like of him dying, him being shot, and then just watching him die. You know, there's been debate in the past, like, oh, well, this guy was attacking the cops, or he was coming at him. Like, this guy was in the driver's seat of his vehicle, like, reaching for his license registration. It's like, this to me, I think, really just, like, hit home and, like, solidified that, like, there's a major problem. Not that the other ones weren't, but, you know, you always hear, oh, there's the debate, like, oh, well, were they being violent? It's like, why are you talking? Or that's what it's like. That's what it's like. I'm gonna forget it. Elton Sterling, the guy who's selling CDs, like, it boggles my mind. And while, like I said, I can relate just on a human level. I think, just like with the Orlando shootings, Christina Grimmie, We're gonna talk about these episodes in Dallas in a minute. And then,
Once again, when someone gets murdered for the color of their skin, she puts herself in the center because she's very white
Why are you even
oriented.
talking?
She also alludes to the debate of violent criminals when addressing an unarmed man's murder at the hands of the police, and rants on and on about how we're all human beings, which is a measure to
Disgusting.
erase and distract from the point that one group of human beings who share her complexion have colonized, enslaved, and continue to murder and abuse minorities. She also provides no sources in her description to support the Black Lives Matter movement, and instead features lyrics from Michael Jackson's Heal the World. She's also mocked Japanese culture for money. She's claimed to be an albino black person, which is
I remember that.
abundantly ridiculous,
Absolutely.
but indicative of a trend where she treats minorities as cash grab opportunities, much like her colonizing ancestors used us and continue to use us for their financial gains.
well, my parents are white, and I've always kind of just stuck by that story. Until lately, I don't know what I am anymore. So everyone from day one, like when you look at me as like a little girl, like obviously my hair is cropped right now, but I have really, really coarse textured hair that a lot of Caucasians don't have. And as like a kid growing up, like I used to have a lot of hair with no extensions or bleach or anything. I have a lot of hair and it's really textured and like coarse, and like I always got made fun of it. I went to a mostly Caucasian school because like when Abraham Lincoln freed like our slaves,
She appropriated Hispanic culture and style, once again, for monetary gain, while insinuating she
I
voted
love
for Trump
pizza.
for stronger border control to prevent what she calls illegal immigrants and drug traffickers, despite having a drug addiction of her own and committing crimes repeatedly.
the problem is when they enter illegally or drug trafficking, which is the wall. The wall, I suppose, is not to be like, we don't want immigrants. It's to control who does come into our country. Our slaves, because we have so many illegal immigrants in this country right now. I live in California. There are so many taking our job.
Now, her fetishization of Jewish men has crossed several anti-Semitic lines as well.
To the point where it's
She appropriated
weird.
dressed as an IDF officer, which is disturbed on several levels,
So
wears
weird.
Israeli flags, which is not associated with Judaism, other than just as an ethno-state, regarded Ethan Klein as Jewy when he asked for an extra 5% from her already generous 45% pay to give extra money to the crew for their hard work, demands the crew gets fired and replaced, which means they would lose that money.
The other day, they had a doctor talking about COVID-19. I was like, yee. I think they need to start with just getting rid of all the interns that work for them, like Dan and all them. They're just awful. They're just awful.
Refuses to listen to Ethan when he highlights her disrespect
Well, look at that.
regarding Jewish people and their
Well,
faith,
look at that.
calls Jewish people anti-Semitic if they don't accept her as Jewish, even though she's
Girl.
claims Jews are in the upper echelon of the world, which has always been the excuse white supremacists use to Holocaust Jewish people. Wears the Star of David like an accessory on her clothes or as jewelry, commented on how she might only be interested in her fiance because of his Jewish background alone, disregarding his humanity as an artist.
I think it's like fun now. He's like a toy. It's like, ooh, I got a Middle Eastern, you know?
Minimizes Ethan and Hila's Jewish backgrounds to emphasize her own supposed Jewish identity as an Israeli.
People can say they're a Jew and I can't say Jew lunch.
I have to stop because I'm white. Like I can't sing songs because I'm white. That feels racist to me. Like you're not white, so you can't sing that song. Okay.
Hey, I'm like promoting this like culture.
Yeah, but you're kind of like, this is kind of like cultural appropriation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Appreciation.
Right. Okay. That's this.
I think it is. The American Jews.
Okay,
like,
lady.
when you're real Jews, you're like,
What?
it's like,
This is kind of like cultural appropriation, isn't it?
calm down. You're from Ventura, California. Like, you know, you don't know the
No.
struggle. He's Israeli. They were slaves in Egypt.
He
Like,
wasn't a
weren't.
slave.
His ancestors were. Your ancestors weren't.
The Pharaoh was in Egypt land. Let my people go.
This is kind of like cultural appropriation, isn't it? Wait, why? Well, how do? Wait, what?
Because he's in the land of the free. The
Wait,
free.
hold
Anyways, this is
You know
not
that.
cool.
Wait, hold on. You know that Jews who moved to Europe, which is where my ancestors come from,
Right.
have a common origin. That's what being Jewish is.
Right, but they weren't exiled.
That's why they live in Europe.
No,
So where'd they come from?
Right.
Where'd they come from, Trisha?
I don't know. But
This is kind of like cultural appropriation, isn't it?
and hides behind her secular Jewish boyfriend to deflect valid criticisms.
I literally cannot.
Furthermore, while Palestinian protests were globally rising to support Palestine against Israel's genocidal and colonial intentions on Gaza, where Israel targets families to end Palestinian generations, hold them in an open-air concentration camp, contaminate water sources, steal their houses and give them to Brooklyn Jewish colonizers, bombs apartment buildings, hospital roads, and mosques, imprisoning and torturing hundreds of Palestinian children a month, all of which are crimes against humanity and considered international war crimes, TRISHA decided to mock the Palestinians during their genocide, which is still going on today.
Can you stay up all night?
Anyways, we're for Israel, not Palestine. Oh. What do you mean we're not for Israel? Okay, we're for all people, but Israel all the way.
TRISHA Paytas is the poster child of white women's tears.
Literally.
She cries, people sympathize with her and forgive her despite physically
It's
assaulting
insane how much she gets forgiven.
Black, Hispanic, and Japanese people, wrecking families, mocking the Palestinian genocide, disrespecting the Jewish faith, fetishizing the Jewish ethnicity, and emotionally abusing those around her. She knows and expects her tears to wash away her accountability, and people who've been brainwashed into thinking a white woman crying over her own misdeeds and abuse is a proper apology start attacking the masses who actually want to hold her accountable. Never once did she apologize to Ethan Klein, Ela Klein, Moses Hackman, Jason Nash, or the Black, Japanese, and Hispanic community. She just cried, made fake promises, and continued her entitled behavior. So why didn't anyone call her out sooner?
Ooh, not stigmatizing mental illness. That's going to be in part 3. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. Again, the link to this entire video is in the description. If you made it all the way to the end and you're brand new, I want to thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Whew, Trisha girl, bye.
Pulling out the coupe in the lot, 12 for a squat, busting all the bells out the box.